Chapter 10. There was a man in Caesarea named Cornelius, a centurion of the band called Italic, devout and God-fearing with his whole household, who gave much alms to the people and prayed always to God. He saw in an open vision, around the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming to him, and he said, "Cornelius!" But he stared at him in fear and said, "What is it, Lord?" And he said, "Your prayers and your alms have ascended as a memorial before God. And now send some men to Joppa, and summon Simon, who is called Peter. He is staying with Simon the tanner, whose house is by the sea. He will tell you what you should do." And when the angel that spoke to Cornelius had departed, he called 2 of his household servants and a devout servant who attended constantly to him, and recounting everything to them, sent them to Joppa. And the next day, as they traveled and came near the city at about the 6th hour, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray. And he became hungry and wanted to eat. And while they made ready, ecstasy came upon him. And he saw the heavens open, and a vessel which was like a great sheet coming down, being lowered to the earth by its 4 corners. On it were all of the 4-footed creatures of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and birds of the heavens. And a voice said to him, "Peter, arise, kill and eat." But Peter said, "This can't be, Lord, for I have not eaten anything common and unclean." And the voice came again to him a second time, "What God has cleansed, you shall not call common." And this happened 3 times. And suddenly the vessel was snatched up into heaven. Now as Peter was thinking through what he had seen in the vision, the men who were sent by Cornelius to find the house of Simon stood at the porch. And they called out, asking if Simon, called Peter, was staying there. As Peter was still thinking about the vision, the Spirit said to him, "Behold, 3 men are looking for you. Get up now, go down, and travel with them. Do not hesitate, because I have sent them." And Peter, going down to the men, said, "Behold, I'm the one you are looking for. What is the reason you have come?" And they answered, "The centurion Cornelius, a righteous and God-fearing man, to which all the Jewish nation will bear witness, was instructed by a holy angel to summon you to his house and to listen to your words." Then he invited them in as guests. And the next day he rose up and went with them, and also the brethren that were from Joppa accompanied him. And the next day he entered Caesarea. And Cornelius, who was waiting for them, called together his family and close friends. And as Peter came in, Cornelius went to meet him, falling down at his feet to worship. But Peter pulled him up, saying, "Arise, I also am a man." And talking with him, he went in and found many gathered together. He said to them, "You know how it is unlawful for a Jewish man to join or come unto another race. However, God has shown me not to call a man common or unclean. And for this reason I have come at your request without objection. Let me ask then, for what purpose have you sent for me?" And Cornelius proclaimed, 4 days ago, at this very hour, I was fasting and praying at the 9th hour in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing, and said, "Cornelius, your prayer has been heard, and your alms were remembered before God. Therefore, send to Joppa and call for Simon, who is called Peter. He is a guest in a tanner's, Simon's, seaside house." Then I immediately sent for you, and you have done well by coming. Now therefore we are all gathered before God, having come to hear all that God has commanded you. And Peter opened his mouth and said, "Of truth I realize that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he who fears him and practices righteousness is acceptable. The word that he sent to the sons of Israel, announcing the gospel of peace through Jesus Christ, who is Lord of all, you know the word that came throughout all Judea, beginning from Galilee after the baptism that John preached, how that God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and power, who went about doing good and healing all who were oppressed by the devil, because God was with him. and we are witnesses of all that he did in the country of Judea and Jerusalem. And hanging him upon a tree, they put him to death. This one God raised up on the third day and caused him to be seen, not to all the people, but to witnesses chosen by God beforehand, who ate and drank with him after he arose from the dead. And he commanded us to preach to the people and to bear witness that this is the one appointed by God to judge the living and the dead. To him all the prophets bear witness that all who believe in him receive forgiveness of sins through his name. While Peter was speaking these words, the Holy Spirit fell upon all of them who heard the word. And those from the circumcised believers who accompanied Peter were amazed that the gift of the Holy Spirit was also poured out upon the Gentiles. For they heard them speaking with tongues and magnifying God. Then Peter replied, "Can anyone refuse them water? Should not these be baptized, who have also received the Holy Spirit just like us?" And he commanded them to be baptized in the name of the Lord. Then they asked him to remain some days.